Thank you. We will now move to the first question by lot that was drawn before we started. Annabeth Serval will take the first question, and the first question will be asked by Ms. Stringer.
Okay, thank you. What is your view on the current compensation for the county chair position and for the district commissioners?
Each answer will be 1.5 minutes, and then each candidate will then be allowed to do a rebuttal of 1 minute.
Well, I think that the definition of part-time, full-time is part of the answer. Commissioner Eiler at a forum we were yesterday said that he would be willing to lower it to $75,000, but he's also saying it's a part-time job. I believe, as I've said in my opening statement, it's a commitment. It really doesn't matter to me what the pay is. The commitment is the same. So suggestions of cutting it in half is fine. I do think that the chairman's salary should be higher than the commissioners because there's just a lot more time input of going, just if nothing else but the formal appearances that take from your time.
John?
I think it would be hard to have another job and do the chairman. You need to be retired or at least it's basically consumes your full time if it isn't directly by the hours. You have to be available full time.
John Falker.
Yes, how much time do I have for this?
1.5 minutes.
Okay. Yes, I made a motion as a member of the County Commission to reduce the district attorney's salary after receiving several emails and phone calls to do that. It wasn't supported by any of my fellow commissioners sitting at this table. But that is an indication that I do take emails and phone calls seriously about this salary issue. I said at that time that we should look at all salaries. We have many, many employees making over $100,000 a year. We have department directors, we have assistant department directors and assistants to the assistants and deputies. We need to take a close look at all of these salaries, but this is just kind of a diversion from the bigger issues. The bigger issues are, why isn't the public allowed to vote on the $400 million proposed courthouse? Why do we have programs like the $75,000 a piece park sculptures program when that money can be used for homeless, Meals on Wheels, the developmentally disabled, and maybe the frail and elderly? These are the bigger issues that I see that are affecting Johnson County. The budget. We've got to get in and cut the waste. We can't sit around talking about commissioner salaries. That is not the real issue of this campaign. The issue of this campaign is to cut taxes and cut spending.
Ed Allard.
If you read the charter closely, you will find out that the Charter Commission a couple of times stated to the Commission as being citizen legislators. I don't think it could be said any more clearly that that's not a full-time job, that it does involve public service, and that compensation should not be the primary reason for serving in one of those positions. The County Commission and the Chair are very, very generously compensated. The other aspect is that the Commission has allowed itself to receive the same salary increases that employees receive by no particular vote. It's in the budget, it's in the policy. When I found that out, the second budget cycle I went through, I made the motion to remove commissioners from that automatic increase. There was grumbling in the back room, but it was a unanimous decision. I think that we need to remove the backdoor salary increases that the commissioners have been receiving. That would put us back at the salary level that was initiated following the Charter Commission change.
John Segal, your answer.
Well, but the short answer is it's too much money. By the charter, the chair is supposed to be paid 25% more than the district commissioners. The district commissioners receive almost $50,000. So if you do the math, that's basically $12,000 more. The chair right now is being paid $87,000 or nearly $87,000. It's not an executive position. It's similar to a mayor. And what I intend to do, or what I will do, is I will ask the county commission to reduce the salaries for all commissioners to $25,000. They'll all be paid the same because they all have the same power. There's no executive responsibilities that go along with being chair. None. And so at $25,000 a piece, that's rough. That's still very good compensation. But it's similar to what the mayor of Overland Park is paid. I think the Overland Park mayor is paid $24,000. That's the largest city in our community. So $25,000 is sufficient for this, and we should move the meetings to the evening so that regular citizens can run for these offices and participate in the meetings if they so choose. Right now, they meet at 9:30 in the morning, and it's very inaccessible to people, even if it is webcast. So absolutely the salary should be cut. That's $210,000 a year, and over the 4-year term, it's over $800,000. And if you want to start with fiscal responsibility, it should start at the top. And the commission salaries are way over what they should be.
We have a 1-minute rebuttal starting with Annabeth Serbaugh. You may give a 1-minute rebuttal, or you may waive the opportunity for the rebuttal. That's your choice.
Two things.
Go ahead.
Two things. The charter does not state the 25% more salary increase. That was a vote of the Board of County Commissioners, from which I abstained because as a running for the position as it was created, as the vote took place. Secondly, I have talked to almost all, certainly 75% of the members of the Charter Commission, and their view, they didn't write it in, was that it was to be a full-time job in order to allow the others to be citizen legislators.
John Topiker, 1-minute rebuttal if you wish.
Okay, yeah, when my 6 years on the county commission, I didn't miss a single regular voting meeting. The only commissioner did not miss a meeting in that time period. I think it amounted to something like 293 meetings. But here's my point. Let's quit wasting time with this. We've got about an $800 million budget. Yes, I think we all agree, or pretty much agree, that we can cut a little bit of the salary out and it's not going to hurt anybody. But what we've got to do is focus on the waste in the budget. Let's look at the things that I've mentioned. Let's look at the $100,000 media man. Let's look at the county lobbyist that's talking for the commission. When all these guys sitting here would get paid as commissioners the amount that we talked about, around $50,000. Let's talk about the waste currently in the budget.
Okay, Ed Allard, you have rebuttal.
Budget times are difficult and have been for a couple of years, and will become more difficult as the years go on. As a result, I think cuts need to start at the top. I made the motion in this year's budget consideration to reduce commissioner salaries by 5%. That's a start. I think we need to do our part. In my discussions with many members of the Charter Commission, they emphatically relayed to me that the chair position was not to be a full-time job. The county manager was specifically given the responsibility to be the chief executive officer. So I would respectfully say there's a difference of opinion, certainly amongst the Charter Commission members, that those that I talked to said definitely it was not to be a full-time job.
John Segal, 1-minute rebuttal.
Well, it's easy to see how much time is spent in meetings now, and if you look at the last 18 months, the commission has spent less than 4 hours a week in meetings. That's easily quantifiable, and it's on my website. So we know how much time is being spent in meetings, and I recognize there's time outside of the meetings, but even if you double that, or multiply it by 5, say there's 4 hours per hour meeting spent studying the issues, it's still less than 1,000 hours, and that's a part-time job. And it is obscene to say that the $87,000 salary should remain. And Commissioner Topliker has talked a lot about things that he wants to cut, but even if you add up the two things he just mentioned, that's $150,000 or thereabouts. That's still less than what I'm talking about cutting out of the budget by reducing these commissioner salaries to something that's within an acceptable and still very generous range.